Okay. So let's just look at what we discussed in the video, so everybody will be on the same page. Okay. So, okay, please, can you see this screen? Can you see my screen also?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, good. So I want to know if it is large enough for us. Okay, so let me just rush through it because we actually have a long way to go today. And as I said earlier, that SQL is one of the simplest analytics tool ever. Right? It's just too simple. It's basically English. So we have some keywords that we use to query SQL, which are what we call keywords. Actually, there are a lot of them, a number of them, but we are just focusing on a very few, which are like the basic one, the one that are used by most junior analysts, which are the one we are focusing on in this particular training session. So we have the select, we have the from, we have where, we have and, we have or, we have case, we have limit, we have when. We have quite a number of them, but these are the list are not exhaustive. But whenever, how do we now know? Now this is a query. This is a query, right? So you can see when you look at this, you can see something like create. Can you see we have create here? Create is written in blue, table is written in blue. So those are how you know that okay, these particular words are actually a keyword because they are colored in a different color. So we have different data types here also. We have decimal data type, we have the integer data type, we have the varchar data type and date. I think I explained this in the last time if you were here actually. So now the very basic and the very first thing you want to do is that you want to create a table, which is basically very easy for us. So to create a table, you just tell SQL that, okay, what do you want to do? I want to create a table. Then you can just say create table. What's the name of the table that you want to create? You want to do country, right? So you have to write the name of the columns header, right? You cannot just click on a cell and write, okay, I want to write the country here. So you have to tell in SQL what you want to write. So country, what are you expecting in the country? I'm expecting every all the country there should be made of alphabeticals, right? That's why we are writing VACA, and they should not be more than 20 letters word. So also population. We all know that population are round figure, they are whole number. So you don't expect us to have maybe 100.5. So who will be the point 0.5? It doesn't really make sense. So population, we are expecting integer because it is whole number. Now let's imagine we are discussing or our focus is on amount. We can have a decimal number, so you can just add decimal there. So also organization here because we are expecting something like Tesla, Techno. Those are alphabeticals, right? So we are expecting them to be alphabeticals, and that's why we have VACA, which is basically our string data type, that is our text data type. Then we have gender int. So because we are expecting that in each country, how many approved gender are there. So in America we have five. Tentatively, it's not don't quote me. So we have in Nigeria we have two. So now I can easily just run this. Once I run this one, so let me just try to run. So can you see? I'm sorry. I think I okay. Actually, this line of code will only create the columns header here. This is our country, this is our population, this is our organization, then this is our gender. Then the next thing is you can actually say select star from country. So basically the function of this is that you are trying to call everything there. So we have select. Why are you selecting? I'm selecting for what the country, what table. The name of my table is what country. So I'm selecting from a table. So now this particular asterisk is integral. So that means okay, I want to see all the columns header inside the table. So we have four columns header here, and that's why it is returning four columns header. Now let's imagine we are only interested in this population data population column only. So instead of saying asterisk, which is representing all the columns data, you can just do something like this population. Right. So let's run this one again. So you can also run this one by pressing this one. Can you see it is only returning the population because that's what we are interested in. So now let's say we are interested in population and organization. So then it's just returning the true. But let's say I'm interested in the four. So instead of writing the four, instead of writing it out, you can actually write it out. But instead of writing it out, I can just represent everything by what an asterisk. So let's look at it. Can you see we have the four rows now? So now what you have created here is the column header. So how do we now insert values into it? We just want to say, okay, I want to insert into my table name. What's the name of my table? That's country. What do you want to insert? I want to insert some values. So we have four columns already. So you just say, okay, these are the stuff I want to insert there. I want to start in the first row. I want to insert America, this number, Tesla, then five. And you can notice that um, quotation mark was used to surround America, right? So because it is actually a text data, that's why we use quotation mark. But this is a integer, these are integer, and that's why you cannot see anything like the text data there. So we also have our Tesla, we have our five. So all these are basic things we have explained in the last one, in the last class. So so we are trying to take it a step higher, right? So we have something we call column. If you actually look at my desktop, you see something here called company CSV. Now let's say I'm working with a company and they actually told them send me a CSV that okay, analyze this particular CSV using SQL. So how am I supposed to add or how am I supposed to import my CSV file into into SQL. So basically, you just go to your SQL. So these are, let's say, this is the data stuff you want to use, database you want to use as a country. So you can just go to the table, right? On this table, it's actually a drop down. So you can actually find it like this. So just click on this drop down here. You see table here. So just right click on that table. You see something like table data import wizard, right? Just click on that. So once you click on that, I can just browse it. It's saying that okay, where is your particular where's your data? So once you go here, you can actually see we have our company CSV. So I can just click my company CSV, click on next, and click on next. Yeah. So because I actually have it before, that's why I said drop the table and create a new one. So click on next. So it depends on how fast your computer is or how big your computer is. It might take a while and it depends on the number of rows. Because I'm just importing a row and 1,000 row. I'm expecting it to be faster. Now imagine you are importing 100,000 rows. It might take as much as 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It depends on your computer specification. Let's just give this. And you see, it is already done within a couple of seconds. We have finished perform task. Then you can just click on next. And then can you see if you look at this, if you click on this drop down, we have our country. So if I should reload this one, we have our company. That means this particular data set I just load into my SQL. Now I can just see something like this. I think let's just run this one. So you can actually see what we have done. So can we see we have our this is actually expandable. You can expand it to see more of what you are doing. Can you see we have 1,000 rows. So I don't want to bore us with that one. This is just like an explanation of the videos of the last recording class. So let me just rush through it. So in the last class, if you actually watched the last one, you actually know the use cases of all these keywords. We have select star from country.company. So in this case, this country.company is the name of this table. The company table I just imported, right? So basically what we are trying to do in this particular line of code is that I'm trying to import the data, right? I'm trying to import the data from country.company. Like I'm trying to see everything in that particular data set. Now, but I'm not interested in everything. Now you can see we have our gender here. We have different gender here. We have different gender here. We have gender field, we have female, we have polygender, we have no, we have several gender there. So I'm only interested in seeing where gender equals to male. Remember, male, this male is a value inside this particular column, right? So I have to surround it with what? With a quotation mark. So I'll just highlight this one, then run it. Once I run it, can you see? All this information that you will have in here will be will be only will be male only. Can you see? That's it, basically. So yeah, that's what we majorly do yesterday, and what was inside the recording. I think I also talked about the order by. From the word order by, it's just like they're trying to sort um you are trying to sort a particular, what do you call it? You're trying to sort a particular column based on in descending order or in ascending order. So I can just run this one now. So because I'm trying to sort gender in ascending order, so I'm seeing something like a gender. That's the first one. If you actually look at it, a gender followed by what? So by gender, and from A, after A, we have B. Now let's say we have that's ascending, right? So you can actually sort it in descending order. Instead of A S C, it should now be what? D E S C. That's descending order. So you can just run this one. So can you see we have from polygender? They've actually checked it down. We have non-binary. So it is arranged in descending order. Basically, just what we have been doing, but in this time in a simple case. So now today we don't want to bore ourselves. We actually have a new thing that we need to do. So actually I have the data set here. So I will send it to the group now. So it should be my diary. Okay, we have women abuse, 7,000 rules. Okay. So let me just send it to the group now. I know the group. Oh, okay. I'm actually on the group. I'm expecting the message to have dropped now. Okay, that's dropped. So now looking at this, you can see we have it is under my own download. That's the location of my file. So now let's just go to my SQL. Okay, so I will be using I will be creating a new database because we actually database because we actually have a new project account. So it is actually called, let's say this database apart is okay, so good. So because we're actually doing a new data set, a new project. So once you start with what create a new database, right? So what should we call this database? Because we are talking about or we are discussing about abuse. Let me just name it abuse. So because I'm done with this query now, I want to end it with what? With what do you call it? Semicolon. So let me just end it with semicolon. Then let's run it. So it is actually saying that okay, a database has been created. If you look at this one, you can see what you have created. So I can just refresh. So once you refresh, right, you can see it here. We have our abuse database. So to actually use this one, it is either I should type it manually. I should type it like this: use abuse. That is use this particular data set and database, or I just double click. You can see this one is bolding now. So I can just double click to make use of this one. So once I double click on this one, that means I'm already using it because it's now the one there. So let me just use the the easiest way, which is double clicking on that. So I'm already using it. There's no need to use write that query again. So now the next thing is I want to import my data. So you just need to click on this drop down, right click on your table, click on table data import wizard, and it's already coming up. So I want to browse. Where is my file? I know my file is in download, and I can see it here. We have women abuse global this one. Okay, so the next thing is I want to click on next. So I want to click on, it's telling me, do you want to use the existing table? Now I'm using a new table. And the name of the new table is called abuse. So dot woman abuse. And that's too much. So I'll do that. Okay, that's good. Okay. So we have all these. You don't need to change anything actually. You can also what this place, the use case of this one is that do you want to change the container, you want to change it to another data type. So I'll just leave it as it is, you know. There's nothing I want to change here. We have our year, the year is in integer. You want to change it to text, you can easily change it to anything you want, but I'll just leave everything as it is. Then click on next. So it is not asking you that okay, they want to import this file. So as I told you earlier that this thing depends on your laptop specification. So I don't know how long it will take, but let's just give it some few minutes. Let's see. Some minutes. Let's see. Well, yeah, it's done. Sorry, I lost the track of time. I don't know how many minutes it took, but I think something not less than 3 minutes. So yeah, it's done now. So you can see everything is done. So it depends. When you are loading it, it might take a while. Depend on your laptop specification. And I think I'm actually using a good laptop now. The next, then it's already saying that 7,000 records finished. Okay, okay, finish. So now, looking at this, there's no drop down under this table now. So once I refresh, right, so you can see there's a drop down. That means something is inside this table now. So you can see we have our women. Now to actually see what's the name of your table, how do you know the name of your table? So once you click on these women, you can see there's like a calendar on it. Like just click on that calendar there. So it is actually telling you that okay, this is what abuse the woman. That's the name of this particular um the name of this particular table is what abuse the woman. So you can just click on that one. So when we run it, can you see we have this. So let me just do this. Sorry. So look at what we've imported. So I just want to explain it to us because I don't want nobody to be lost. So basically, we are discussing about the women abuse in global um in all countries, right? So we have this country, we have the region of the country, we have the year it happened. So we want to know when did it start, when was the last time? Is it like a continuous thing? And we can actually see we have different type of abuse. We have the emotional abuse, we have the physical abuse, we have different type of abuse. And they are saying that okay, in this particular South America, the prevalence of um of women abuse in 2024 is 34.1. So you can see, we want to know the trend. Okay, in Brazil, does it increase? Does it decrease? You know, you want to know over the years. You want to know. Sorry, someone need your attention. I can moment is more. So you can someone hear my voice. If you can hear my voice, can you reply it and emoji?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. I don't know why it's saying by the message. Okay, we have our age group here. Okay, who are prone to abuse? Is it 60 plus women? Is it 18 to 29 women? You know, we have different age group here. Even surprisingly, we have 15 to 17. Wow. Okay, we have, I think that should be the lowest one. Okay. You have the relationship with them. Are they intimate partner? Are they spouse? You know? And we have the location. These are just like a relatable thing. And I think this is actually a real data because the data source is actually there. You have the issues, that's the European Union, we have the CDC, we have UN. I mean, we are from reliable source, kind of thing. So now let's just analyze this uh using our SQL screen. So we have a couple of questions there. And I think while we are solving this particular question, we get to something we call aggregate. Maybe I'll just need to explain what aggregate mean before we actually start the project. Or I need to do, okay, maybe I'll just throw this one to the group. And I need everyone to actually talk because we are just limited. We are so few in this particular call. So I want everyone to talk, maybe suggest that, okay, should I just teach aggregate? Aggregate is like a topic, the last topic we will be teaching in SQL. Or we should solve the project. Then while we are solving the project, then we just discuss what aggregate is along the line when we are solving the project. So let me ask you the question, Ms. Temitope. Okay,
So I think while solving the problem, you can just do the aggregate.
great. Mr. Muhammad, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
Okay, yeah. So what will be your suggestion?
So I think while doing the project, if we are still coming along to the aggregate, I think we can continue doing the project. So while we are there, you can explain the aggregate for us to save time.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bakia, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So what will be your suggestion?
To be honest, I didn't really hear. Like, I got disconnected at one point, so I didn't really
Oh,
hear. Yes.
okay, no problem. I
Mm-hmm.
guess you just need to continue with the class. It actually gets
Yes.
interesting because you're about to do the project now.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's start. So we just start with Okay. So now the first thing will be okay. Now let's just say something like how many rows you have to be able to select everything. I think this is basically what you have been explaining before, right? So I think I need this one better. I know when to take complaint. Yeah. Sorry, I just think that to check if everything is all right at the end. Okay, good. So the first question will be let me just say okay. So okay. So now let's continue. So the first thing is you want to know how many countries uh are the women in this particular country. So the first thing, obviously, we need to focus on the country column because that's where the question is coming from. How many countries are involved in women abuse? So now we have different countries here. So to actually do this thing, the first thing you will need to write is what select right from women from what? Let me just copy this one. Right? We are trying to select, but what are we selecting? Let's say we are trying to select the country. That's the column header, right? So let's select the country. Control enter. That's the shortcut. So now we have this much country, but we don't know exactly which particular country is how many countries are involved because you have Argentina here. So let me check. Okay, now we have Nigeria. I think I saw Nigeria here somewhere around there. So we have Nigeria here, and it is we are coming here. But we actually want to count distinctly. Like that is whenever we have Argentina, even though it is reoccurring, it should still be counted as one. So South Africa, even though it is reoccurring, can you see we have South Africa here? You still have another South Africa here. Even though they are reoccurring, you still want to count them as just one. Basically, that's what we are trying to do. So, how do we do this thing? So that's where we come. We call there's something we call aggregate. Aggregate is that okay in this particular column, they are trying to aggregate it. You are trying to perform a function on it. So the function, because you want to perform a function on it, you surround this one with what with a bracket. What are we trying to do? We are trying to count the content. So basically, let's try. Now it is English. As I said earlier that this SQL is too simple because you are just writing it in English. So we are just saying that you are surrounding this one with the parentheses. Then before the parentheses, you are writing what you are trying to do. So now let's say if you are trying to sum, so instead of count, this one would have been what? Would have been sum, right? If you are trying to do the average on this particular column header, it will have been what average. If it is max, yeah, it would have been the max. If it is mean, it would have been the mean. It's just easy thing before the column header you are trying to do that on. So now let's say we are trying to do select what are we trying to do? Count. Now let's run this. So it's giving us 7,000. And obviously, you cannot have 7,000. That means we have 7,000 rows, right? But then when country are occurring, they are being counted as different one, not like when Nigeria is recurring, they are counted as one, but when Nigeria is recurring, they are counted as many times they reoccur. So how can we solve this problem? Inside this particular stuff, inside this particular parenthesis, you can just write something like distinct. Distinct. So once you write this one, so now let's just run this one. So can you see we have 15 countries all together, right? So I'm coming. Let me see if I can do some. So these are the 15 countries. I think we can actually list it. Maybe I'll separate that into two. So the first thing is you can see we have 16 countries. These are the 15 countries listed out already. We have Argentina, we have South Africa, we have Brazil, we have China, we have all of these countries. That's where women abuse are, are prevalent. So but we are trying to count because they said how many. We are trying to solve a business question. Right. So we just write I think I'll just separate this into maybe the first one will be list the content. Then the next one will be so how many um so in this case let me just do comparison. So this one I think I'll extend this one will just with count. So we can run this one again. So we have 15. Now there is something we call alias. Now let's look at this. We call something alias. So look at this column header. We have it is writing our query, right? Which is not linear enough, sorry, which is not full enough, right? So you can just say instead of writing all this one, you can just write something like, okay, I want to rename my column header. You can just say as this one maybe you can just say countries involved abused and just say women abused country. That's can you see WSC. So if I should run this one now. And instead of those code that we have there, so I've renamed my column header or my answer header, my response header or my output header with a cute little thing. You can actually write anything, right? So that's how to actually beautify that. So maybe I just ask everyone, do you understand that before we move on to the complex thing? Because if you actually understand this, it will be easier to scale from there. You understand? Please can you reply with an energy view if you understand everything that we have done now? Oh yeah, or should I go over it again, please? I need the response. You have little time.
Yes, please go over it again.
Okay. So please, do you understand the first one, the code 7 here, or you don't understand both of them? So I will go over both of them again. Okay, I guess you're nice responding. I'll just go over both of them again. So they said list the countries that are involved in women abuse. To actually list the country, the first thing is you will do select from abuse women. That's like basic thing that we have been doing this thing, right? So if I should remove this one, right, that means I'm focusing on what's on country. And let's try to run this one. Running this will give us this particular thing. And you can see we have 7,000 countries, 10,000 rows of data that's in and each row contain a country. But I'm trying to list the company distinctively, not like I'm trying to list them all the countries the way they occur. Right. So because I'm trying to list them distinctively, so I added a keyword which is called distinct here. So then I run it. Now running this, can you see we have 15 and we can actually see that instead of having that 7,000, can you see this can you see we have just 15 here. So basically, the next thing I'm trying to do is that, okay, now this distinct country, now this is a, maybe I just cancel this one. Now I've done this one, right? But I actually want to count this particular country. So let's just do Control C. Let's do Control V, here, right? So because I want to actually count this distinct country, I want to count, okay, how many is this response? So we just add a bracket to everything here. Right? This distinct country is giving us 15, right? But we actually want to use our computer to count, our SQL to count. So that's why you just say, okay, what are we trying to do? We're trying to count this. So you just write your count here, then you actually run it. It's basically too simple, right? So we have our 15. Now, instead of saying count distinct country, that's basically like the row code, the code. So why do we need to return the column header with the code? That's why we are using alias, just to beautify our word, our work. So we can just do WAC. So you can actually use any column header that you want. Now let's rerun this one. And you see you have WAC now, which is basically too easy. Now, do you understand that, Mr. Mutapa?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Bakia, please, are you following us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Now let's just move to the third question. Actually, we have a long way to go. So we have IS. So can you see? So which region have the highest average dividend? Now we need to understand this thing before we actually solve any question. We need to actually understand what we are trying to solve. Basically, that is the best thing and how to solve this particular thing. And let's try to analyze. So they said which region have the highest abuse prevalence. Now that means the region we are trying to look at this region. We are concentrating on this region, right? So that's cool. And then we want to know, okay, how many um abuse prevalence. Sorry, I want to know how many times South Africa will occur. Or am I getting it right? Is there any prevalence here? Oh, there's prevalence rate. But now let's just leave. Okay. There's prevalence here. I don't want to go to the complex thing here now. So let me just say, okay, I think let's do it like this. Instead of saying region, let's say continent. So I'll go back to there. I'll go back there. How many continent? Which continent? Yeah, I mean, there's the highest abuse number. So now, which country have the highest abuse number? So we want to know how many times does Argentina reoccur in this particular 7,000 rows? How many times does it reoccur? So if Argentina, we want to know if it is Argentina, if it is South Africa, out of the 15 countries, which one among them have the most highest abuse number, right? So you can just start with, okay, how do you start? So the first thing you want to do is I want to concentrate on my country, right? Instead of selecting everything, I'm interested in what's in content. But what do you want to do? Now I can just add a comma. That means that the first column that will be returning it will be what my content. So what do I want to do again? Count. Can be right thing. Sure. Count something. Yes. I think I'm doing the right thing. So now this basically the first thing it will be reoccurring. The first thing I will be seeing here with what country that is this is actually a two column. The first column that will be in our output will be what? Will be country. Then the second column that will be returning will be the count of the country. Now I want to know Argentina it will occur how many times? 1,000 times. South Africa will occur 500 times. That's two column. Basically that's what I've written here. So this is the name of the table. Now what do I want to do? If I should run this particular thing now look at this error message. So it's saying that in aggregated query because there is actually an aggregate here. This is an aggregate. I think I've explained this. They said you use a group by. So that means after you are done with your abuse, you are done with your table name, that's the abuse women. You now use another keyword called what? Group by. So now look at this. This one is not aggregated, but this one is aggregated. The one that is not aggregated will be where you will group it by. So that means I'll be grouping by what? By country. Right? So we just go back here, Control V. That is I'm pasting it. Because I'm done now. Let's run it. So now let's see what we have done. So we have Argentina. Argentina is reoccurring 461 times, followed by South Africa, followed by Brazil. But this thing, I can't know which country have the highest because I'm trying to what do you say? I'm trying to grade them. So I have to do order by. Do you understand? I have to count them in descending order. So the one with you can see United States have 419. I guess that should be the highest. Oh, we have 503, Pakistan. Okay, interesting. So I'm expecting Pakistan to be the first, followed by United States. So how do we do stuff like that? You can just do something like order by. What column are we ordering is by? We are ordering by count country, right? So let's just copy this one. Control C. So this one should be order by, right? Control V. So let's run it. Let's see what we have done. So oh sorry. I have to add if it is ascending or descending. So this one has to be in descending order. So let's run it again. So can you see we have Pakistan, we have followed by what United States, followed by South Africa. Can you see we have the least country is actually France. I think Nigeria is actually part of the list. So we have Pakistan. So please do you understand that? Or should I go right again? Hello.
Yes, I understand.
Oh great. So now to actually beautify the country column now, right? So I can just say this one as I can add my alias here as Y, but I can just say count. So let's run it. So can you see we have count here? You can basically just beautify it. So because I actually add my count here in small letter and it is written in that color, that means it's a keyword. So I want to write it in capital letter word. So just to make me professional, not like it stuff we know run, it will run. Just to make me look professional. And let's rerun it. So can you see everything is still working, even though I change it. Now let's go to the other use case. We have a long way to go. So now the last question, which region have the highest um, okay. Now let's try to I don't have this. Let me copy it again. So now let's run it again. Now let's say we have region. That means you are concentrating on this particular region. They said which region have the highest, sorry, isn't actually highest. Yeah, which region have the highest average abuse prevalence? Now we have our region here, right? Then we have our abuse prevalence here. I think this is what they mean by abuse prevalence, right? So, and they said average. That means you have to calculate the average of this particular one, followed by, then we want to know, okay, South Africa has a as maybe 30%, 30.1 average rate. That is, there is 30% chance that there will be women abuse in that country. Basically, that's what we want to do. Now, the first thing is what are the region, what are the column that um we are interested in? The first thing we are interested in what region. We are also interested in what um we're also interested in what surveillance abuse. Surveillance rate percent. So now, what do you want to do for this particular one? we are trying to have the average. So that means I'll just surround this particular one with average. Let's do average. So this one has to be AVT. So now basically that's what uh there's actually a problem with this thing, but we want someone to actually figure it out. Can someone tell me what would be the error message if I say want this one? Can someone miss that and tell me what do you think would be the error message? You solved something like that. Okay, good. Okay, there's no time actually. Now let's run it. Let's see the error message. So it's telling me that in aggregated query without group by, because there's actually an aggregate here, there's no aggregate here. We have to use what group by. So after this form, you use something like group by. So which one is aggregated? This one is aggregated. This one is not aggregated. That means we will just copy this one, Control C, and paste it here. So can we see we have this? We have this one. Can you see? We have everything here. We have South America. So I can just do the same thing I did here. So I can just do something like this. Let me just copy this one. So let's order by. Order by what? I'm trying to order by this particular thing, Control V, in descending order. So I want to know which country has the most tendency of abuse in that country, women abuse in that country. So we have East Asia, because it is region, we are focusing on region now. So the first region that is not safe for women because they will be abused according to this data set is that East Asia, followed by what South Asia, followed by what North America, followed by the least one, the safest place for um women is actually Europe. I mean, you're asking question using SQL. Please, do you understand that also? Can I move on? If I can move on, can you without an emoji? I guess that's easy to understand. Um, okay. Mr. Muhammad, do you understand that also? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
with us?
Very clear.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. So now let's go. So now we have another one. Please give me 1 minute. I want to stabilize my internet connection. It's giving me some. So now, now let's continue. So sorry. Now let's continue. He said the next one is how many abuse. Okay, I think this is too simple. Short. I'll be cut it. So now let's look at this question. They said how many abuse cases are recorded? Obviously, looking at this, let me copy it again. Right. Looking at this, like you can let me just run it. For every case that's there, this Argentina, that means for it to be here, that means it is actually an abuse. Right? Basically, You just want to know how many data sets are here, how many rows are here. So you can just do something like count. Just do something like count. Because for a data to be in this particular data set, that means it is an abuse case. You can just run this one. So what will it give? It will give 7,000. Basically, that's it. So let's modify this column header or this output header. Can just write something like as total records. Yeah. So you have our 20,000. So now let's move on. I guess that's previous. So now we have what is the average of now let's look at this. Let's look at this. How do you intend solving this? Now let's just copy what I copied the other time. So control enter, that's the shortcut, keyboard shortcut. Control enter, that's the keyboard shortcut. So you want to, they said, what is the most common type of abuse? So looking at these rows, I can say I have my type of abuse. That means I'm concentrating on this one. That means you have different type of abuse. How do you get that? So let's just say type of abuse. I'm reducing this one, then sorry, I'm deleting that one, then writing my type of abuse. So that's the name of the stuff. So if I should run this one, I can only see this one. But I want to see the big thing, right? I want to see okay. Basically, like the other thing we did the other time. So type of abuse. Now I want to know the numbers. Right? Emotional abuse. How many times do we have emotional abuse? So that would be two. So I'll just write type of abuse. Then I'm trying to count it. This one will be a number. This one will be a text. This one will be a number. That is emotional. How many times do we have emotional abuse? How many times do we have physical abuse? How many times do we have sexual abuse? You understand? So I'll just have something like counts.
Count.
Yeah, thank you. Count. Why am I counting? I'm still counting this particular column because I want to get the number. So I just write type of abuse, right? So close my column. So if I should run this one, I will run into an error. But let's look at the error again. The error is still what? In aggregated query, there should be a group. Right? Because this is actually an aggregate. This is not an aggregate. So that means I have to write what group value. So, what column what will be after the group by the one that is not an aggregate? This is an aggregate count is aggregating this one. This one there is
Group
no
by
aggregate in front
type
of
of
it.
abuse.
So I'll just copy
Group by
this one. Control C. Yeah, thank you. Control V. So if I should run this one now, so can we see? We have all of this, right? We have all of this abuse. I can see we have and you have textual to be the highest, that's 1226, followed by economic abuse, followed by physical and emotional. But yeah, you cannot just be doing that. I
Order
want
by
to
count.
arrange it. Thank you. You want to do order by.
Order by
So why are we
count.
order is
Descending.
by? So I have to copy this one, Control Z, right? Then run it. So sorry, you have to be descending there. So can we see we have our sexual, followed by what economics, followed by physical and emotion. But now the question is what is just one. That means they are only returning just to one thing. So you have to write something limits one. I see limit one. That means return only the first one because it's and the question asks what is, not like what are. The question is what is. So limit one, then let's run. Can we see it is only returning the most common type of abuse, which is what sexual abuse. Now I want to beautify this one, so I can just write what as counts. No. You can write anything, but yeah. So let's rerun it. Yeah. So we have 1226 basically. Can you see? everything. I think that's clear, right? I believe that's clear. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's continue.
Now,
So now let's continue. So the first thing is let me copy what I've let's see what we because I as a professional I actually know what to do, but now I'm teaching, so I have to do it in a special way. Now let's run this one again. So they said age group, which age group is prevalent to highest abuse? So basically, let's look at this one. Do we have anything like age group? Yes, we do have an age group. And instead of focusing on everything, I'm focusing on what age group only. So let me just write my age group, right? So comma. They said which age group. To actually do that, it will be something like this, right? So I will have my age group here, then I'll have the numbers here. So I'll just do something like count. How am I counting the age group, right? So if I should actually run this, I will run into an error. So I'll just write my group by immediately. I think I've done that several times, so we should understand. Group by. So which one is aggregated? This one is aggregated. This one is not. So I'll just copy this one, then paste it in. So can we see? So let me just order it. Basically, it's too simple. Order by. Order by what? This one. Because this is the column I'm trying to order, not this column. So that's why I'm counting this one. Then control V. Let's so they have to be DSC. And see, we have wow, 15 to 17 is the highest abused women. Wow. Mhm. Not surprising. Okay. Do you understand that also? Hello, please, do you understand that?
yes, sir.
Can you play with an emoji? Do you understand? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we are solving question. Can you see how simple it is using SQL to solve question? It's just too easy. In as much you know English, you know how to type it. Okay, so this week, how many cases? Oh, well, okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Hello, sorry.
I said for yes, sir. For using my SQL, is it better to clean the data
Okay.
before using it to analyze, or you can use an unclean data and suitably analyze it?
Actually, it is better to use a clean data set in SQL. And also, you can also clean data in SQL. So it depends on which one you can do. That's why we're actually teaching you how to use different analytics tools. So you may actually prefer using Excel for cleaning data, then transfer the cleaned data into your SQL for analyzing, or you can clean your data in SQL and for transfer it to Excel for analyzing. It just depends on you. That's why you have different stack of skills. You understand, sir?
Yes, sir. Very clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now let's look at this again. So now let's run this again. So they said how many cases were reported. That means for each to be for we to be asking how many cases were reported, that means there were some cases that were not reported. So looking at this, reported to authorities, there are some abuse that were not reported. They said how many cases were reported. So the first thing is we are looking at this, right? So we just do something like reported to authorities. and you can just count. I mean, this actually you can just say count reported to authorities auto. It's still the same thing, right? But as a professional, I'm just trying to count all the things there, all the rows. Because if I say count star, it will count all the rows. There is no blank here. So I can this is another style, right? So instead of writing those long number, I can just write it like this. So I can just sorry. So after this one, I know because there is an aggregate in the second row, I have to add a group by a group by function here. So let me just add my group by function here. Can we see? We have it. So we have no, that means a lot of women abuse cases were not. You can see, I'm already concluding based on my exploration in this particular um data set. Can you see? A lot of women abuse are not reported, and why not a lot of them? Anyway, both of them are like 49 to 50%. So it's like 50-50. Almost half of the case are not reported. So that would be the division. So let me just this one total cases. Total cases. Oh, sorry, this actually so can you see? So I can actually I can what do you call this? I can I can also order it. So you can just say order by what? I'm ordering by this one. Okay. You have no followed by what? Yes. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Now let's let me look at another question. Mm. So yeah, I'm looking at this question. It's not clear. He said, what percentage? Okay, let's see this one. What percentage? I reported. So now let's look at this question. It's very tricky. They said, what percentage of abuse cases are reported per country? Let me copy this one. Now let's run this one again. So let's look at this. These are reported, right? These are reported authority, and these are country. These are the two stuff we are focusing on. That's the two columns that we are focusing on. So now, what's the stuff? How do you calculate this thing? They said, what percentage of abuse are reported per country? Now, how do we calculate the percentage? Like that, those are our basic statistics, right? How do you calculate the percentage? That means abuse cases that are reported. We have 7,000 cases of women abuse. Some are reported, some are not reported. Now let's say 5,000 are reported, 2,000 are not reported because 2,000 was 5,000 are reported as it. So that would be 5,000 over 7,000, right? That's how we get our that's how we get what do you call it? That's how we get the percentage. But now it's not only percentage of those that are abused, but they said percentage per country. That means you want to know, okay, in Argentina, how many cases are reported? In South Africa, how many cases are reported? Now just look at how I will solve this. It's actually very tricky. So the first thing you want to write here is what? Select country, right? So that would be the first thing we have here. So the next thing is maybe I can just say counts. You count the country, count the country. Then now I want to calculate. Now the first thing is the country will be here. That means Argentina. Then I'm counting how many times does it the Argentina Argentina reoccur. Let's say Argentina reoccur 400 times. So I will have it. This is my second column. Now my third column will be the percentage. So how do we calculate the percentage? The percentage um should be sum of the, let me just write it. Maybe if I write the code, you will be able to see sum. Um, um, okay, now let's look at this. Please, I don't want it to look like a lot, please. It's not a lot. It is too simple. Now the first thing is I'm trying to do something like this. And you see, you have to select country. That means the first thing I'll be having here will be country. Now the second thing will be what count country. How many times does Argentina reoccur? How many times does South Africa reoccur? How many times does Brazil reoccur? Right? Then the next thing is I'm trying to calculate the percentage. So how am I trying to calculate the percentage? Now the sum of reported authority. So now in this reported authorities, we actually have two. We have the one that is yes, and we have the one that is no. So I have to even tell them that. I have to even tell them that. Sorry.
I cannot hear anything. Oh,
Goodness. Someone said they cannot hear. Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you before.
So you could not hear anything I explained in this particular thing. I have
I
written
did.
everything here.
What do you say?
Yes, I wasn't able to
Yes,
hear too.
we weren't hearing you.
Um, okay, let's go back. Okay, instead of going back, I think I'll just explain what I'm teaching. So I think I was actually audible. I don't know, my mic was muted here. And that was why I was using my speech screen. Okay. Anyway, that's fast. So now let's just try to go back or go right again. So now I'm trying to say, please, you could have interrupted me since. But anyway, let's go back, please. And let
No,
me just
it's
read
not too
this.
far. Oh, it's not too far. It's not like as if it is all what you have been saying that we did not hear. From your select reported to authority, that's where I did not hear you.
Do you hear everything in this first row?
I'm saying from your select reported to authorities, I did not hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, let
It's
me
not
just
like as
go
if
right.
it's
Okay.
everything. No, it's not everything.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. So now let me just go over it again. So we have this left country, then count country. I guess you understand this one. Now let me just ask one question. Do you understand how I wrote this particular um calculation?
No, I don't. No, I don't, because I didn't hear it personally.
Okay. So now what I'm trying to get something like this, right? So the first column will be what? Country. Because we are trying to find the percentage of abuse cases in each country. So now the first country will be what? The country. The first column I want to report will be what? Country. Then the second one, I'm trying to count a country like Germany. Now I can see Germany has 446 reported cases, right? That is, sorry, Germany occur in this particular data set in 446 times, followed by Nigeria occur in this particular data set in 461 times. But now I'm trying to look at not all of the cases, not all of these 7,000 cases are reported. In each country, what's the percentage? How many percentage of abuse are reported? So we can see that in Germany now, we have almost 52% case are reported. In Nigeria also, 52 reported case are reported. So now, how do we calculate the percentage? Now, let's say you want to calculate the percentage of boys in a classroom. So the thing is, you will get the total number of the class. Let's say the total number of the class is of 20. The number of boys present in that class is 10. And then you do something like 10 over 20. And that's how you get your 50%. Do you agree with that? Ms. Waka, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Yes, now the same thing we want to do with this one. So if you actually look at this, let's run this one. So now let's run this one. So looking at this particular thing, there are some rules that are no, there are some that are yes, right? So I want to sum. That is, I want to know the total sum of the columns or the rows that are yes. So I'm not say sum because sum is a keyword. So I'll just say sum. What am I trying to sum? What particular? I'll just say reported to authorities, right? That is sum all this. If I should add this one now, because there is no, what do you call it? There is no mixing value in this particular row. Everything will be 7,000. But I have to specify that, okay, not everything, no. You have to only sum when this particular value, when the value is what? Yes. That's why I'm writing something like equals to what? Yes. Right? So now let me close the bracket. Let me close the bracket here. Over. Because let's say this one now, we all know that this row is worth 7,000. This particular yes might be, we have yes and no, yes and no, yes and no. So this particular yes might be 5,000. The total column will be 7,000. So this one will be now 5,000 over 7,000. Basically, that's what we are trying to write in a long form. So this one will now be what counts. I'm trying to count all the total number of rows. So how can I count the total number of rows? I can just say count. Ah, that is count the total number of rows. So ordinarily, this one will give us 7,000. That's easy, right? This one, it will give us, let's say this one is giving us out of 7,000, the one they are reporting is what I think we have done something like that before. Yeah. Okay, anyway, the one that they are reporting, let's say 5,000. So this particular stuff will be giving us 5,000 over 7,000. That's basically what is here. But you cannot just write something like this. You have to add them in parentheses. So I'm adding a parenthesis here. I'm adding another parenthesis here. So I'm adding a parenthesis here. So I'm adding another parenthesis here. So it's giving me that there's something that is wrong with my stuff. One thing I was wrong there. Okay, I guess there's nothing wrong. And let's run this. You have an error. No, it's doesn't.
I think maybe is your yes. It's not like
Oh yes, enough code closed. Thank you. Okay. So because I should not be getting this error here. I should not be having SQL syntax. I should be having group by error. So that's why. Thank you so much for that observation. So if I should actually run this one, I will get a group by error. So now can you see we have a group by error here. So now I can just go because this one is aggregated, this one is aggregated, this one is not aggregated. So I just say something like group by the one that is not aggregated, that's it. That's content. Okay, so now let's run this one. So I need to have it already. So now I can order it the same way we have been doing it. So this order by. I can just copy this one onto system, onto V. So let's run this one. This one has to be in the same thing. Okay. So now let's run this because this looks to let me beautify it. So I can just say something like as reported case. So let's beautify this. And we have 0.5 to that obviously. You can even do something like this. Let me add another comment, another quotation now here. Sorry, another parenthesis there. So this one will now be star 100. That is multiplied. Let's run it now. Currency, you have 52%. So basically, you can just do anyhow you want it. So I can just add this one. It's just basic mathematics. So let's run it again. Yeah. I guess I can use percent there. Okay, I'm trying to add percent here. Okay, I guess I cannot use percent there. Okay, so we have Germany, we have 52%. We have Nigeria, we have 52.4%. Can you see we have all of those, and you can easily see that Canada has the lowest reported case, even though they have higher your comments. They have low reported case. Do you understand what I just did now, Ms. Bracken?
Yes,
You should
yes,
still understand.
yes.
Yeah, you understand now. Okay. So it just look complex. Actually, it is very simple. Now let's just move on. So we will stop by 6 p.m. So I will want someone to tell you the what is the prevalence relationship. Yes. So I want someone to tell me how do I write this code? So I will understand that you guys have understood it already. So now, let me explain this in simpler terms. So now we can see we have perpetuator relationship here. So I want to know, okay, how many, maybe I want to know in this particular relationship status here, is this spouse that have the highest abuse or intimate partner or former partner. You understand? So how can I write that code? That should be easy. So can anyone can just tell me their mic and tell me the code to anyone. Or else I'll call it. Anyone. And do you want to try to make?
Sorry,
Okay,
Can
that's
I
one try.
try,
Okay.
please?
Yes, you can,
Um,
you can.
group
So,
by
sorry. Okay.
perpetrator relationship.
No, we have to
Mm,
start from select. That's first thing.
okay,
so we're
select
selecting.
perpetrator. What I think I'm wrong.
You are selecting perpetrator. Okay. That will be the first column. That means I will be seeing this as the first column. And obviously, I want to count their numbers. So what will be the next thing?
Want to count their
Count.
number? How?
Yes. So it will be what?
Count.
Count.
Count
Thank you. So what are we counting?
Perpetrator relationship.
Exactly. So now, do you think I can run this and I will not run into any problem? And if I will
You
run into a problem, what problem will I run to?
you group it. You have to group it.
Exactly. So I will group it by what?
Perpetrator relationship.
And why do you think I need to group it?
Because this one now
Because
is
this
not
one has
is not
is not
aggregated.
aggregated.
Hmm.
Exactly. So I have to copy this one. So can we see we have it now? So I actually want to order it. I want to know which what because the question is saying what is, not what are. So
You
we are
order
not
it by
done.
the count.
So we now say order by what?
Count.
So I have to copy this one. It's not only count, I have to copy everything.
Yes, sir. Then descending or ascending.
So let me just write this in. So we can see it's even family member. Wow. That's funny. So we have family member followed by acquaintance. Okay. Followed by intimate partner, followed by former partner. But anyway, the question is asking us what is the prevalence? That means we are expected to only show the first one, that's the highest one. So that would be what would be the last code of line? What would be the last code of line? Who can tell me please?
I think you can use limits.
Limits.
Exactly. That's what I want. Limits. One. So because I've added a query semicolon, that's why it is giving me this cancellation sign. I just want to note, can you see the cancellation sign left? So I can just end it here then. This one. So you have family member, but this one is not looking to like I want to change the column and the output header here.
As
So how can I change that?
alias.
So I'll go here, I'll go as okay, what can I change it to? I can change it
Uh,
to let me just say anything.
equivalence.
Let me just say
Relationship.
relationship. I mean you can use anything when you are writing your own. So I'm just using this. Right? So going to enter. So do we see it now? I guess do you understand this now? Do you
Yes.
understand?
Yeah.
So
So I
now
have a
the
problem
last
with the
one, the last
previous query.
this one, the one we just did now.
The one we finished, no sir. That 100 you put all 100.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
So the all 100 I don't understand what it means.
Oh, okay. Let me run it again. Can you see? Let me remove this 100 now. So it
Yes,
is
sir.
0.5 to 0.52. So I want to times it, I want to multiply it by 100. So if I should
Okay,
multiply it by 100, that will be giving us percentage. So this one will be 52 point something. So that's what I'm saying. I'm multiplying by what? 100 until
Okay.
enter. Can you see it now? So basically that is the function. Okay, now
Okay.
one last question before we move on. Um, so you will be the one that will tell
I
me the
want to
code
ask,
of
do
this
I
one
have to
also.
put the dash dash before the question?
No, now this dash dash. Okay, now let's know this dash dash. So what do you see here? You have a
And
cancellation sign.
yes,
See, once I put the dash dash, what do you notice?
no cancellation sign.
Disappears, right? So that means once I put the dash dash, I'm telling SQL that okay, what I'm writing is not a code, it's just a comment. Do we get that? Okay,
Just like hashtag.
exactly. Not like there is good location is more. So now who can tell me how do we run this one? And just copy the first one. So this will be the last one. So so I'm having a problem. So let's see. Oh, the problem I'm having is that because I've not had a semicolon to this one. So I have to now it is thinking SQL is thinking, okay, this is the continuation of this code. So I have to add a semicolon to this one. Can you see the cancellation sign disappear? So please they need to do all this small thing. If you just keep returning error, if you don't perfect your code, so let's try to perfect our code. So now let's just run this one. So now the question is which location? Sorry. So now we have location here. Which location has the highest number of incidents? So who can tell me how can we write this one? Basically, just like what we've written here. So the same thing. So anyone who wants to go,
Group by
Yes, sir.
location of abuse.
no, we not start with. We have to start with select.
Sorry,
Select what?
select
What are we
location of
selecting?
abuse. Select location of abuse.
Exactly. Select location of abuse. Okay. Now they said which location. For us to know the location, that means you have to count it,
Count.
right? So
Count
what are we
location of
counting?
abuse. Location of abuse.
Count location. Location of abuse. So let's just add our alias. What can we call this one? Let me just add location. I guess you all know why I'm adding alias, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now can we run this? Will I run into any error if I run this thing?
No, or
I will not
yes.
run into any
Yeah,
No,
error.
you
Okay.
wouldn't.
Let's
No, you wouldn't.
you have
okay,
to
let's
order
run
it.
it. Okay, now
You
I
have to
ran
group.
into an error. So I have to group by because there's a count here and that's an aggregate function. So and this one there's nothing here. That's not an aggregate function. That means I have to add a group by here. Do you understand that? Do you
I
understand
don't.
that?
No, I don't.
So now you can see we have count here. Count is an aggregate function, right? Location and values, the first one here, there is no count, there is no aggregate function here. That means this particular one is aggregated already. This one is not aggregated, so you have to group it by the one that is not aggregated here. So Control C, Control V. So you can actually run it now. Will you run into any error? No, it's not. You are not running into any error. But now I want to order it. So let's order it. I'm expecting school to be the first thing, followed by what? Public place. So let's order it. So I can just order by.
Descending.
So
Order by
order
count
by.
of location of abuse.
Order by count of
Thank you.
location.
By control.
Descending.
Oh, descending. Thank you. So and we have it 1793, 1750, 1731, and 1. That means school is a first place, followed by public place, followed by home, followed by workplace. Do we get that?
Yes,
So
sir.
do we still find SQL art again? Do any one of us find SQL art? So is it simpler than SQL and than Excel?
To me, it's simpler than Power. It seems simpler than Power BI.
I mean, this. I mean, that's why I said it's like the simplest thing ever. So yeah, that would be the last thing. That will be our last discourse on SQL. So thank you guys for joining. And one last thing before you go, guys. So you need to replicate this because it's a project, obviously, and it is simple. And it's just 66 lines of code and you're done. So even because there is an overspace, these are like 40 lines of code. There's some spaces, some training spaces there. So these are like 40 line of code. So you can just write that within 130 minutes, about, and you're done. So you need to just replicate this video, then submit it.
So
That will count as your SQL project. Do you get that?
yes, sir.
Okay.
So how can we visualize like this table location of abuse now if you want to visualize it
If you want to,
or export
if you
it?
want to visualize something like this,
Yes, sir.
you can see in
In a
every
table.
answer there's something we call, yes. You can see in every answer there's exporting. We've actually run this one also. There's exporting. That means you have to export it one by one. So for this one, this is the last one. You want to click on export. So I can just save this one as location.
So sir, that
If
means
I save this
you
one
cannot
as location,
you cannot convert it into a chart or something.
from
Probably you have to
SQL,
put it
no,
in Power
SQL
BI.
is no. SQL is just used for analysis. It's not.
Okay, sir.
Oh, how to join both of them?
No, I understand you, sir. So that means if you want to further put this on table, you carry it to Power BI or Excel.
You can, but the thing is, we have how many stuff do we have here? This is one. Let's say we have answered 10 questions now. So for each question, you will export it differently. For each
Differently.
question now, this one you export it differently. So then inside Power BI, because Power BI can accept table in multitude, so you can import like 10 hundreds of table. Then you can visualize it on Power BI. Do you get that?
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Okay, good.
Thank you, sir.
Um, okay, that will be the last thing on the SQL. Do you have any question, Miss Temitope? So, Miss, whenever you are there, you understand what you are doing.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Um, okay. Thank you so much for joining. We'll meet this tomorrow at the same time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.